Bogue. I'm on the National Executive Committee of SNP Students, and I've been a friend of Max Pam for about 3 years now. So essentially, what he wants me to talk about is to do with Scottish independence, why I support Scottish independence, going briefly into the pros and cons, just as a way of opening up the debate for your class. Now, firstly, I believe he needed to give a talk about oil and the impact that the discovery of oil had on Scotland and on the Scottish devolution movement. Now, this was made in the mid 1970s on the North Sea coast and turned Aberdeen, the city that I'm sitting in right now, into a world centre for oil and the drilling of oil. And essentially, the SNP had one of its most successful elections pre 2015 in 1979, on the basis of a campaign slogan called "It's Scotland's Oil." The idea that the oil that was discovered in the North Sea should belong to the people of Scotland as it was discovered in Scottish waters. That was the idea behind the campaign. Now, I'll be honest, while I would have, in that instance, supported devolution, I wouldn't have supported Scottish independence at that time, mainly because I probably would have had a firm belief in the Labour Party and its ideals and its general beliefs. However, what the SNP for me represents is a more modern, tolerant Scotland, because firstly, you had in my opinion, the main reason why support for Scottish independence, or why I came onto the idea of Scottish independence, was the idea that it was a vehicle towards the society that I wanted to see, which was equality, tolerance, just general that kind of vibe, and I didn't feel that a Labour government in London was going to achieve this for the whole of the UK. However, I at that time would have said, if a Labour government does start looking into that sort of thing, I would abandon the idea of Scottish independence. And then Jeremy Corbyn came around, and that really made me doubt whether I wanted Scottish independence, because I liked his ideals. I'll say that right now, I like Jeremy Corbyn's ideals. I liked quite a lot of his policies, particularly renationalisation of the railways, which is something that I believe you in Germany have, that your railways are run by Deutsche Bahn, whereas ours in Scotland are run by a private company called called ScotRail, who are just awful. And the idea of renationalising the railways particularly appealed to me. However, then the EU referendum came along, and obviously Scotland voted to remain. However, the UK as a whole voted to leave. And it came very clear to me that the only way that I, as a Scottish citizen, could, or the way that Scotland could stay in the European Union, obviously I could stay as a European Union citizen because I'm a dual British-Irish national. However, that's irrelevant. To me, the only way in which Scotland can stay in the European Union is through independence, and that reaffirmed my commitment to the idea of leaving the UK. However, there are obviously cons. There's concerns about the Scottish economy, whether it's over reliant on oil, whether it's and the coal fields in Lanarkshire. There's obviously Brexit's happening at the moment, and we've seen what trying to untangle like 50 years of cooperation's been like, and try untangling 300 years of cooperation. It's going to be longer. The talks are going to need to be longer. The talks are going to need to be more substantive and comprehensive in terms of how Scotland leaves the UK, what date. So trying to sort that out, as we've seen with the Brexit negotiations, takes a long time and isn't going to please everyone. And with Scottish independence, that process is only going to be more painful and even more drawn out for everyone concerned. And obviously there's Spain. possibly getting in the way because Spain doesn't want to set an example to Catalonia, who want independence for themselves and look to Scotland as a role model in terms of how the government should work in various ways. So now I'm going to pose that question to you. Do you think Scotland should be an independent country? Or better, as the referendum put it, do you believe that Scotland should be an independent